almost you probably went around the world just about with taking supplies to Archangel, Russia, to Iran, and was also involved in the D-Day invasion. We also have Guy Prestia. Guy, you want to raise your hand? This is Guy Prestia, who was in he was in the 45th Infantry Division. Was one of the few remaining World War II veterans who served in North Africa. He was involved in the Sicily invasion. 3 amphibious invasions in World War II, Guy Prestia was involved in. The invasion of Sicily, which was as large as D-Day, maybe even larger. The invasion of the Italian mainland at Salerno, and then the invasion of southern France in August of 1944. He was one of the soldiers to liberate Dachau and ended the war in Germany, in southern Germany. And Guy is 97 years old. Next to Guy, yeah, he deserves a round of applause. Next to Guy is our senior member of the panel. His name is Joe Zimbicki. He is 101 years old. He landed on Utah Beach on D-Day +2 and served in the 90th Infantry Division. He was wounded by a machine gun bullet about a month after he landed. That took him out of action for a while. He returned to his unit and was wounded a second time in the head, and that took him out of the front lines permanently, and he became an MP guarding General Patton's airplane, and maybe he'll tell us about what General Patton was like. And then we have a veteran who I just met. His name is Joseph Ladd. He served in the 88th Infantry Division, the Blue Devil Division, and I guess arrived in Italy probably in 1944. And we'll hear from Joseph. He's the youngest member of our panel. You're only 92 years old, right? Young guy. And then last, but certainly by no means least, we have Henry Parham, who's 97 years old. And Henry landed on Omaha Beach on D-Day as part of the only African-American unit to land on Omaha Beach, the 320th Barrage Balloon Battalion. You'll know that we fought World War II in a strictly segregated military. And so Henry fought in an all-black unit, landed on Omaha Beach. We're very grateful to have you with us, Henry. My thought was that I'd have them say a few words. I'd ask them about what they remember of that day, of D-Day, June 6, 1944, and then open it up to questions from the audience. And you'll understand, I'm sure, that 75 years can dim some memories and maybe erase some, maybe hard to discuss some of this stuff. But we'll start by Henry. Henry, I just want to ask you, what do you remember about landing on D-Day on Omaha Beach? What was it like to come ashore?
Well, I don't know how to start that because it's been quite a while ago.
Yeah, it was 75 years ago. But I do remember you saying that you went into the water and landed on the beach, and there were a lot of bodies around. And what was your job?
Fly a balloon.
To fly barrage balloons. And what were barrage balloons on the beach for?
Protect the troops on the beach and keep the enemy plane from the scrapping us.
Right.
We were never scrapped by the enemy plane.
That's right, that's right. The barrage balloons were there to protect the beaches from enemy strafing, from airplanes swooping down and strafing the beach. The barrage balloons with their very heavy cables were meant from preventing that from happening. And that was your job. I mean, they were raising these barrage balloons under fire. Thank you very much. Joseph, I just met you, moments ago before the movie. You were in the 88th Division. You were a younger guy. So I imagine, where were you when D-Day happened? Do you remember? Were you back home still?
Oh, I think we just Germany starts surrendering, and we landed in Naples.
You landed in Naples.
In Naples on the USS Wakefield. And it took us back in the mountains. And what they did, they give you rations, cave rations. You get 3 breakfasts, 3 dinner, 3 supper. And you put them in your duffel bag because if you didn't, they had legs, they walked off them. Your buddies ate it for you. So we was there a short time and they put us on the train. And I remember waking up, we come into Rome. And they let us get off the trains to go to the bathroom, come back home, get back on. Then we ended up in the northern part of the city called Udine. Udine is a pretty good sized city. Where a bunch of trucks come in. When the trucks come in, they would call your name, you give them your serial number, and they tell you what truck to take. M, B, what going. You got into the trucks. So they split us up from there. I end up getting in a big truck with 10 men. We went to Tricesimo, about 15 miles. 4 or 5 of us got out and put us in a smaller truck, and they took us back, about 10 miles away from the city. And we started guarding an ammunition dump that the Germans made. And the Germans were pretty smart people, I thought they were. They had an ammunition dump, and what they do is it was in a circle. And when they want an ammunition, they run trucks in there and back them up into the places they want to load them up and get you out. So about every hour, 2 men would go on guard duty and keep rotating. We was there for about 2 or 3 weeks, out we went again. We moved up to a place they called Colorado. Colorado was a big castle. The Germans used it as a hospital. We stayed there for maybe about a month or 2 patrolling, getting closer to the Austrian border. And we finally moved up to the Austrian border. Well, at 6 o'clock at night, you go to sleep because you can't see nothing. That water's so cold, you won't wash. I tell you, I stand here in front of you, I got 2 showers in my life all the time I was in it. Laugh, I didn't even wash for 2 or 3 weeks. My buddy never told me I smell because he smelled too. From there, they took me over in to the Yugoslavian border, where I become an interpreter. I interpreted for about 3 months. Then I went off that job, we were still there. I started hauling supplies for 5 companies. Then bring them in, split them up, and give it to them. Then we moved back down again. You never got to, and I gotta tell you, I never shot nobody, and nobody shot me. I was fortunate, I was one of the fortunate. We was coming up more after the Germans started surrendering. And everybody still wanted to go home. Our thing is go home. I have to stand here and tell you, when I talked to my dad too, I thought we was men, we was going to go over there, just kick the hell out of them, come on home. My dad said, what do you think they're going to be doing? You learn, you grow up. We thought we grew up. We was children. I was 18 years old.
Thank you, Joseph. We have another Joseph, Joe Zimbicki. Joe, do you remember D-Day? I imagine you probably got on your landing craft and waited out in the channel.
No. We landed at the channel on Honeycraft.
You landed on D-Day +2. What was Utah Beach like when you landed?
Well,
the general was sitting there and he says, don't even look around. He says, just go in there to 200 feet, and he says, and you'll meet your outfit that you're going to fight with. That's
what you did?
That's what I did.
Do you remember the first time you were shot at?
Well, no, I don't remember that.
Do you remember being shot at and being hit about 1 month after you landed? You were hit in the shoulder?
No, that was in a different place. Because we was on one mountain, the Germans were on the other side. And when I went down to dig a French hole for myself, I got nailed.
So you were bending over digging a foxhole, you got hit?
That's the way it was.
It was in and out?
No, I went in under the blade.
Under the shoulder
blade,
blade.
yeah, shoulder blade. It just put 3 marks on there, that's all. Didn't go through, because I was bent over. And I went there to hit me. That's about it.
And I want to ask, I'll scoot behind here a little bit. I want to ask Guy Prestia, because those who fought in Italy often feel that they lost the attention of the home front after D-Day. Everybody was following the action in Western France. Guy, do you remember you were in Italy during D-Day? You were probably up around, well, Rome was liberated on June 6, 1944, the very same day that of the D-Day landings. So you were in Italy during D-Day. Do you remember hearing the news of it?
No, I was in France.
Oh, you were in France then?
I was in France, yeah. I had been overseas already about over 3 years by that time, because when we left North Africa, we made the invasion in Sicily, and then after that campaign was over, we went into Italy, which was at Salerno, and then we worked our way all the way up. We went to Monte Cassino, where they had that monastery up in the hill, and we lost a lot of people because that place was used as an FO, forward observation point, for the artillery, which was stationed behind the mountain. Well, we were in front of that mountain down in the valley, and we were losing a lot of men. And we saw the B-17 bombers flying overhead, but nothing was happening because they were hitting targets up north of us, up north of Monte Cassino. So anyway, like I say, it got so bad there, and at that point in time, we didn't have Patton as our general. We had Mark Clark. He was our general, and it had been raining, and it was muddy, and all the vehicles and everything were down to the axles in mud, and we couldn't move ahead because up there they had this FO place. So we couldn't move out, and then one morning we saw the planes flying overhead, and they were B-17s, and we saw the bomb bays doors open, and we said they were going to hit that monastery. So the president had issued a warning that that should be knocked out. So after that happened, then we were able to move out of that area. But before that, we were stalemated. We just couldn't move out of the way. But yeah, I was in France at the time. My outfit was in there, and we had O'Brien as our general, and we were in a place called Alex, and it was a lot of tank battles there, because the Germans were well reinforced with Tiger tanks and all that. And the one big tank that they had, I think it was a Mark VI tank, it knocked out 5 of our tanks during that battle. That battle lasted, I think, 6 hours. That was a bad one there. That's where we were when Normandy happened. But we heard all about it.
Hey, Guy, I think they'd be interested to know, I find it fascinating. You told me once you were able to visit your grandmother in Italy.
Yes, my grandparents were still living. That is the reason that I signed up for the Army of Occupation. So altogether, I was over there almost 4 years. But in battles I was in for 3.5 years. My unit was in 511 days of combat. And it got to be late in, after we were through Germany and different places in there, Nuremberg and Offenburg and places like that, we finally were headed toward Munich. And our commanding officer got the word to skip down around there and see what's happening at Dachau, which was like 10 miles away from there. So we went down there and we saw Dachau. And that's the place where we liberated 11,000 people. And of course, they were just skin and bones. We weren't allowed to give them any food, but we could give them cigarettes and candy. We all had that in our backpacks. But our medics said if we gave them food, they would just perish, they would die. So they took them all and took them to different hospitals to get them nourished up to good health. But during that time, there were at least 2,000 or over dead people in that camp. And it was just bad enough to smell the stench that was at that place and in the crematory, the place where they burnt the body, just that burning flesh. It was just terrible. We weren't prepared for anything like that. And it was at that point in time where people asked me, you know, how did we feel when we saw that? And I said, well, we had soldiers that had been overseas for maybe 2.5 years, 3 years, and have seen many things. We have seen people getting wounded, we saw people getting killed, but we never saw anything like that. And it was one of those things that we were able to do to get those people out. But like I say, there were a lot of dead people in there, and so there was one more mission. We had to go to Munich at that time, and of course at the Dachau, that was on April 29th, 1945. And my birthday was 3 days before that, on April 26th. And at that point, I was 23 years old. And my grandparents, as you had mentioned, they were still living down in Reggio Calabria. And my dad left the country there to find a job because they were down in the southern part of Italy where there were no mills, no factories or anything. There was just farmlands, and there was no work down there for people. So when my dad was 17 years old, he came to this country. And so I stayed in the Army of Occupation for another 6 months, so I got to visit my grandparents. And I made friends with a German POW. They had us with detailed people, with German prisoners. And this one fellow that I was with, his name was Adler, he could speak English because he was going to a university to be a architect. And so after the war was over, one soldier was like another one. We held no hatred for them. They were in the service the same way we were. So anyway, I stayed in there those other 6 months, got to see my grandparents. That was a great thing.
Thank you, Guy. Howard, please tell them the story of your D-Day story, which starts in England.
Oh, okay. We were assigned a ship, and I was sailing with a fellow from Ohio who was 6 or 7 years older than me, knew his way around new ships. So we got down to where we got on the ship, and he said, "Is that the ship?" And I said, "Yeah, that's it." "Yeah, that's it." He said, "That damn thing won't get out of the harbor." I said, "Why do you say that?" He said, "Listen to me, that's a piece of junk." The captain said, "You guys, deck people, we need you right away. Come on, we need you to get aboard here." So we go up the gangway, we get on. Huey's still hanging back. He could see that. He said, "Oh, we're not having any cadets this trip, so you and your but he can have the cadets quarters. I said, how's that you? He said, I told you, it's not good. So with that, we find we're going to England, and we did. Actually, we were there for the better part of a couple of weeks. We didn't have a crew. Finally, they bring a launch out with men aboard, of course, they're sailors, and the guy I'll never forget as long as I live, he was at the bow of the launch. He said to his friend, is that the ship? The guy said, yeah, that's it. He said, that goddamn thing won't get out of the harbor. That's a jump. Whoa, that doesn't sound good. Anyway, they make them come aboard, and now we got a crew, and believe it, this is all true. We get started, we leave New York. Second day out, I'm up the deck because I'm a deck guy. I steer and do the deck work. The engine stopped. My friend said, what the hell was that? I said, I don't think we're going anywhere. We were with the convoy. Believe it or not, they had some bearing trouble. We go down and look down in the hold, down to the engine room. They're taking the caps off of the bearings. We're in a convoy. They're taking the caps off of the bearing. So hurriedly, they do this, and they let them and everything get it. We did catch up to them, and we did make it to England. When we got to England, like always, you're supposed to get some kind of a cargo, and they're preparing this, and I said to Huey, did you see the cargo? He said, yeah, it's scrap. I said, what? He said, it's junk. I said, what the hell were we getting that for? He said, I told you we shouldn't have made the trip. With that, next thing I know, I hear all this noise. I get the porthole, flip it up. I said, Tim, holy hell, Huey, we're someplace that I see all kinds of guns. He said, get your head the hell in there before you get it knocked off. So with that, we found out that we were at Omaha Beach for the invasion. And I said to you, what the hell do you think we're doing here? We got an empty ship. He said, I told you, Howard, it was a mistake in New York. So after 2 or 3 days, we take the ship and run it aground. We ran it right into the beach. This is Omaha Beach. This is the invasion. We run it into the beach. We swing it around as far as it'll come. They said, everybody's going to get off of the ship. They're going to use it for a dock. So this ship that was built for World War I was going to become a dock. So if you can imagine, they got this thing, we lined it up in the line in a row at Omaha Beach. We got off, of course, dropped all 4 anchors. They later blew the sides out and sank it, and it became a dock immediately. So that's what it was about from day one. What followed was, of course, a series of things. They took us back to England, sent us to Scotland to send us back. Everything was confusion. We did get on a liner and come back with our wounded soldiers on a large ship. But we did make it back, and that's just part of the crazy thing of taking the ship to the, actually for the invasion.
Thank you, Howard. You can tell Howard's a little shy. We have a lot of people here today, and I know that many of you probably have questions. Feel free to raise your hand, and you can shout it out, and I'll pass it along to our panel. If you have a question for the whole panel or for any veteran in particular. Does anybody have a question? Yes.
Just wondering, it might not be an easy question to answer, but if there was one thing that they could tell us that they learned from their experience, maybe shape their life going forward.
That's a wonderful question. So you all are in your 90s, 101 years old. Your time in the military was only just a few years of a long life, but it seems like those few years had a big impact on your life. How did your time in World War II shape the rest of your life? What impact did it have on you as a person?
Made you grow up.
Look, Joe, here.
I was a young boy, it made you grow up fast, made you understand what life was about. You had to decide, nobody could decide for you, you had to decide for yourself. Your mom and dad wasn't there. You grew up, all of us did. And it made men out of us. We respected one another. Something this country don't have. Respect one another here. We forget too much. Have faith and trust in God, number one, and you will accomplish what you want in life. That's what I say to you. I'd like to ask all of you a favor. I want each one of you to give me $50. Okay, now I got your attention. Now what I'd like for you to do, tonight at 9 o'clock, I don't care what you're doing, what you're at, bow your head and let's thank the men that didn't come back. And they were all good soldiers. Bow your head and thank God for them.
That was a wonderful answer. Does anybody else? How did being in the Army shape your life, Guy?
Yeah, I think that when we liberated Dachau, it was something that remained with me the rest of my life. Before that, myself and many others wondered, what are we fighting this war for? What is the purpose of it? It's ongoing. When is it going to end? And we couldn't see many days. We couldn't see the answer to that. But then I learned later on, it was to make people free. That's why we were in that war. And how it affected me was that when we got to that place and saw what we saw, many of the soldiers just sat down and cried. They had seen a lot of things even. For a couple of years they had seen people die, they'd seen them wounded, but they never saw anything like this, what we saw at that camp. And so many people just cried, others threw up, and many of us did both. It was something that we were not prepared for. So when I came home, and after that, the way it changed my life, it seemed like I had more compassion for people. And then it was a time when I could serve and do things at my church and help people out. But before that, growing up and everything, it was for myself. I was trying to serve everything and get everything done for myself. But later on, I found out you need to help other people. Other people need to have your service to get along in this life. And it's only by the grace of God that I'm here today. And I've been through a lot through that war. Been wounded once with a mortar shell, but that wasn't very severe. I was only in a hospital, a field hospital for only 3 days. And so I was fortunate to just have a small wound, one in my leg and one in my chest. But like I say, it was very minor compared to what other people suffered. Thank you very much.
And I will just add, after working with veterans for 11 years, I'm not a veteran, as I said, I don't come from a military family. What so inspires me about this work, in part, is how grateful veterans are just to be alive, just to be around, no matter what age or era or when they serve. And how civic-minded they are. I mean, veterans are great volunteers. They help out. The military is a subculture that really values everybody working as a team, everybody working toward the same purpose and mission, and that seems to get ingrained in veterans. And they're very much, like Guy said, concerned with helping other people, and that's inspiring to be around. Do we have any other questions? Yes, up at the top.
Did this movie make them sadder, or was this a good memory?
That's a great question. What did you think of the movie? Did it bring you to tears? I know that you had some tears. Joseph?
I think it's good for everybody to see.
Yep.
You know, it's war after war, war after war. When will we learn? Love thy neighbor as thyself.
Henry, what did you think of the movie? Did you like the movie?
Yes, I did. I think we were good.
Yeah. I thought it was a little loud and scary. I probably wouldn't have been good at Omaha Beach. But that didn't bother you, huh?
Not very much.
Very good. Anybody else want to say what they thought of the movie? Good? Good movie? Oh, yes, right there.
Have any of you been back to Normandy to the cemetery where they're going to have the commemorative activities this week?
Have any of you been back to Normandy or to visit where you fought? Any of you been back? The Veterans Breakfast Club did a trip back, a 2-week battlefield tour of Europe last September, and one Utah Beach veteran who landed on D-Day, Warren Goss, came with us, and we were able to follow in his footsteps. Dick McElhaney was on that trip. I know Dick is in the audience today. And it was totally fascinating being with him, and it was, you know, an experience of just being with him. He couldn't be here today because he's in Normandy now. Some foundation from California called, asked him if he'd be willing to go, and he said, sure. Should I bring my weapon? And so he's there for the 75th anniversary. Yes, up at the top again.
I wanted to ask Henry, how were all you able to really get along and cooperate to work as a team, like to get through it? Like, how you all got together, like everybody came from all parts of the United States, and you all formed together, not knowing anybody yet, you formed together, worked as a team. How did you pull it off? Like, how did it all come together? How did you?
That's a great question. I mean, in the military, you're thrown in with people from all over the country, people you don't necessarily know, and you have to work together as a team. You have to get along with everybody. Is that how? And especially with barrage balloons, which are extremely dangerous and very hard to maneuver, you had to really work as a team.
Right. I have nothing else to say.
Okay. So you got along fine with everybody, huh?
Yes, indeed.
All right. If he didn't, he's not telling. Any other questions? Yes, John.
Have you been to D-Day, Ohio, and have you received your award from the French government, which is the highest award they can award to a non-French citizen?
I could answer the question. Henry has received his French Legion of Honor, which he is wearing right here. Howard has received his French Legion of Honor. I don't think Joe has. I don't think Joe Zambicki has, although he would certainly be eligible. He is not. He is not. And I don't know, have any of you been to D-Day Conneaut? It's a reenactment of D-Day in Conneaut, Ohio. It's a wonderful event in August.
How about that fancy medal?
I know, it's a nice medal. It's a nice medal. Howard, please educate the audience. The Merchant Marine is probably the branch of service that is least known to Americans. Could you explain what the Merchant Marine was or is?
Yes. We, the Merchant Marine, delivered the goods. That was the word. So anything that was involved, armament, men, every aspect of it had to go some way and had to go on these ships. So we delivered bombs, unbelievable amount of material throughout the world, because I was in different parts of the world. If you could believe it, I was in Iran, And when I say that, people say, what the hell were you doing in Iran, right? Well, the southern tip of Russia meets Iran. So everything that was on that ship had nothing to do with Iran. It was going over land to Russia for them. And I was in Russia 2 times. Don't go there for a vacation. And so those were the interesting things that went with that. Should I tell you my Russian story?
I tell you, yes, you should tell the Russian story. Well, it's a great story. Actually, you know, you said the Merchant Marine delivers the goods. The Merchant Marine was not considered for a long time part of the military. And in 1988, I believe, Congress passed a law that said that anybody who served in the Merchant Marine in World War II is a World War II veteran. And, excuse me?
What?
Oh, okay. And every branch of service has its own service song, its service anthem. And
Hey, are you kidding? Heave-ho, my lad, heave-ho. It's a long, long way to go. It's a long, long pull with the hatches full. Braving the wind, braving the sea, fighting a treacherous foe. Heave-ho, my lads, heave-ho. Let the seas roll high or low. We could sail any ocean, row any river. Give us the goods and we'll deliver. Damn the submarine. We're the men of the Merchant Marine.
Guy, I saw you yesterday, and you told me that after you got wounded, when you mentioned that you got wounded and you were in a hospital, you went AWOL, you left the hospital. Could you explain why?
Well, like I say, when I got wounded, that wasn't very bad. I was in a hospital, a field hospital for 3 days, but while I was there, they had us all in beds. And there was a major there who was a doctor, and every morning he had head check. He came around and talked to the soldiers and found out how they were doing. So this morning, the next morning that I was in there, he came there for inspection and I wasn't in my bed. And he waited for me until I got back. And he said, "Where were you, soldier?" I said, "I went out to the latrine." I said, "I can still walk." I said, "There's nothing wrong with me, you know." So I said, "I can walk." And then he just read the riot act at me, you know. Who did I think I was, and one thing and another. So I just didn't like his attitude. So anyway, I saw a truck the next afternoon. I saw a truck that said 157, headquarters, 45th Division. So it was a tanker, water tanker. And I said, I talked to the driver, and I said, "You going up to headquarters?" He said, "Yes." He said, "I'm going to be leaving pretty quick." He said, "Why?" And I said, "I'd like to ride up with you. Can I go?" He said, "Yeah." Okay, so I took off and went with him. So I get up to my company, and I went up to my company commander, Felix Sparks was my company commander. And I went up to him and says, "Captain," I says, "I think I'm in trouble." He said, "What happened?" I said, "Well," I says, "I'm AWOL." I says, "I left that hospital without getting discharged. I don't have any papers or anything to show that I'm supposed to be away from there." I said, "I would imagine right now that the MPs are looking for me." He said, "You're right about that." He said, "They'll probably be looking for you, but they won't be looking for you here because we're on the front lines." He said, "You can count on it. They won't be up here." So he said, "Get your gear ready." And he said, "Because we're going to pull out in the morning." So we had to leave. So I had left there, but he said, "I'll take care of everything. Don't worry about it." So I went AWOL from the hospital.
The other distinguishing thing about Guy and Joe is both of them personally met General George S. Patton Jr. Guy, I know that Patton stopped you at one point and chatted with you briefly. Joe, you guarded his plane, right? Was it a B-26, B-25?
47.
Oh, okay, C-47. And you guarded his plane. Did you ever talk with him?
Well, he doesn't talk to nobody. Remember, he had the stripes. I didn't have the stripes.
Right. You kind of hope that he didn't talk to you, I guess, huh?
Yes, I did. I hope he wouldn't. But, like I said, when we guard his plane, when he'd go to Paris, we went to Paris. If he went someplace else, we went there too. Then they took us on a ride on the force and get down to Czechoslovakia or something like that. And he says, we're not allowed to go past this here line. I said, what for? He says, they'll be shooting us down. So I'm still back here. That's about it.
And he was a spit and polish guy, so when you were with Patton, you had to be spit and polish, your tie had to be straight, your helmet had to be shined.
Well, you done that. That was the other leaders. He tells you what to do and how to dress and everything else. But we got along.
And that was a better job than being on the front lines?
Oh, that was a beautiful job.
Tell us about your run-in with George Patton.
General Patton he was a good general. He was strict, but you had to respect him because he had good strategies and he took care of his men. So this one time, the first time he came up to me, he said, soldier, he said, where are you from? I said, I come from a small town called Elwood City in Pennsylvania. He said, well, there are a lot of soldiers here from small towns. He said, they're not all from New York City. They're from all over the country. And he looked at me, because I was a BAR man. I carried a BAR, which is the heaviest rifle, weighs 21 pounds. I had that, a Browning automatic rifle. And he said, that's a heavy weapon you have. I said, yes, sir, but after carrying it for a couple of years, I said, I'm starting to get used to it. So he says, well, you keep it clean. Don't get any sand or dirt into it because it'll misfire and it might save your life sometime. So like I say, he was a strict man. When we went into Sicily, our orders were we had to wear our OD uniforms, wool shirt, wool trousers, and we had to wear neckties. And I guess one of the reporters from the States, when they interviewed him, they asked him, they said, General, why do you have your soldiers go to war and fight with their neckties on? And he said, well, when my men even get killed, he said, I want them to look like an American soldier. But in Sicily, in July the 10th, when we invaded, it was over 100 degrees. So the first command that he gave us, we disobeyed it. We got rid of those neckties. But like I say, you have to respect him. Some people that don't understand. Then he come up and talked to me a couple other times too. I just saw him. But one thing about him, he was always up in the front lines with the soldiers. He wasn't sitting back in an Escalon someplace going over maps and everything like that. But he was with us all the time. And so one of the things that you might not know about, maybe some of you do, he was a very tall man. He might have been maybe 6'3", maybe 6'4", something like that. He was tall. And he had whenever you see a movie and you see Patton or something in the movie, they have a movie star, somebody can speak, and they have a real nice voice or something like that. Patton had a real high-pitched voice. As a matter of fact, a lot of people refer to him as Squeaky. Now, they didn't call him that whenever they faced him. You wouldn't call him, but people referred to him as Squeaky because he had that high-pitched voice. Another thing that would get him mad, if somebody referred to him about that pearl handle 45 that he had on his hip, that was an insult to him. He said, that is not true. He said, because pearls are cheap. He said, that gun that I have, he said, that has an ivory handle on it, made with ivory. He said, so you could get him mad if you said that that's a pearl handle.
Joe, did you ever call him Squeaky? No way. Do we have any other questions? Yes.
I just want to say thank you to all of you. And also, do you think if England had been conquered, Germany would have attacked, invaded us?
She asked, if England would have been conquered by Germany, would we have been next? You're nodding your head here, Howard.
Sure, that was the plan, because that's what they were gearing up for. There's nothing to talk about, yeah. They intended to keep on going, because Hitler was a madman. And that's a fact.
Do we have any other questions? Then I'm going to ask Howard if you could share that story about Russia, because it is a great one. I don't know if you could tell it briefly, but, well, one where you get arrested.
Oh, that.
Is that not the one you were thinking of?
Ah, well, that's the premier. Okay, well, when you go there, when you get to Russia, we are in port and their officials come aboard and they said, we are giving each of you 250 rubles. That's for your enjoyment while you're here in our country. However, we want you to know we do not want you to have any kind of contacts or any transactions with our people in here while you're here. And that's absolute order. So that's okay. How far does 250 rubles go? Okay, the 250 rubles are gone. You gotta have some more fun. And my friend Huey, who again was with me all the time, said, Howard, I don't have anything. You got all kind of things from here, carvings and what have you. They had a lot of interesting things. I still have some soap and cigarettes. How about if you go in, I'll do the watch. You go in and buy me something, and here's the cigarettes and soap. And I said, okay, because it had been going on, and I hadn't heard anything rash, crazy about it. So sure enough, I go up into town. I got soaps in one pocket and cigarettes in another, and two little Russian kids come on and they say, Comrade, cigarettes, soap. So come with me. I follow them, get beat back behind what's like barracks kind of thing. Sure enough, here comes a guy out, one of the older guys, and he's going to buy some cigarettes and soap, and I'm doing the transaction, and it's Comrade, Felicia. I said, yit, you got the wrong guy here. The Comrade, cigarette, soap, come, I keep trying to talk him out of it. Come, I figure, well, what the hell, I ought to be able to talk myself out of this. What's the big deal? You know, I didn't commit suicide, didn't commit any kind of a bad thing. So we're on the way down, and all the buildings are this way. Now that one building is turned the other way, and I think that must be it. So we're going in there, I'm thinking this is the police station. I'll be able to talk myself out of that. We go up 3 or 4 steps, they open the door. You couldn't see your hand in front of you. It was so damn dark in the room. I thought, what the hell kind of a police station is it? Do they think somebody's going to rob them? With that, because there were 2 of them. Because the one had taken the fellow that I was selling to, and then me. So those 2. So now, this guy's takes the key and puts it in the door, and I'm thinking, what the hell kind of a police station is this? You don't have to lock up a police station. Who's going to steal a police station? With that, they open the door. you couldn't see your hand in front of you, I grabbed the guy that was next to me and I said, I'm getting the hell out of here. And I pushed him as hard as I can, and I'm sure I startled him. With that, I'm out the door, down the steps, and I see an opening. I'm running, and I'm pretty bummed from here to the steps or more. I think I better take a quick look back. I take a look. This guy's holding the gun. He's hollering, "Halt, comrade, halt!" I figure, I can beat that bullet. I'm not stopping. What's the word? So I stop. I go up and down between all these rows of these buildings where these Russian people were, and I go as far till I couldn't hardly breathe. Now I make my way out to the front main corridor that you're supposed to be on, and I grab one at a time of our people from the ship, and I get one to change a coat with me, one to change the hat, so it doesn't look like the same guy. And I'm not gonna tell you what I had to promise them, but anyway, they did go along with it. I went over to the place where we were able to get some food and drink. I'm over there and I'm thinking, let's get the hell back to the ship. I'm hoping, because there was really 3 ships in there. I'm thinking they're gonna go back, I'll be in the crowd. I'll get lost with it. But every word of this is true. Now it's time that we know we gotta get back, and this is the last night of liberty. We get on, and I'm like hawk-eyed. I spot the one Russian on that side and the other one on that side. Is great. I'll go through the middle. I go through the middle, get through the gate. I get over to the ship. My friend Eugene, he's waiting for me. He's doing guard duty. He said to me, "Howard, didn't you get anything?" I said, "Yes, Huey, I got arrested." He said, "Oh, bullshit, you made that up." I said, "Okay, Huey, you weren't with it. I'll divide up some of the things I got from me." So that's my Russian story.
I'm sure the young people in the audience got a great education with that story, Howard. Thank you very much. Let me close with one question, and that is about coming home. What was it like to come home? What do you remember about coming home? Joe, I think you said that you came in through New York Harbor, and you do remember seeing the Statue of Liberty?
I saluted it.
You saluted it.
I saluted this picture,
Wow.
whatever it is. I was on the bow, and I said, "Welcome home, Joe."
How about you, Joe? Do you remember coming home? What it was like to come home?
You mean to my hometown?
Yeah.
Well, it was a little, I don't know, when I went to Europe and I woke up, I thought I was in a different world. Because the European countries are way different from what we have here. So when I come home, my dad asked me what I was going to do. I said, "I'm going to go in mine with you." He said, "No, I don't want you in mine." I said, "I don't want you to do that." He said, "You go back to Detroit where you was working, and you go there." I said, "No." I said, "I'll only work a year or 2, and then I'll leave. I'll help you get out of debt." He said, "No, I want you to get out, because if you stick your nose in here, you won't leave." My dad told me the truth. I stayed there for 39 years and 2 months. It's a shock when you come home. You know, everybody's coming home. All these GIs are coming home. They're all looking for jobs. They're not there. I work 2 days a week. I raised a family with, I had 2 daughters. My daughter Joanne there. I raised them on $2,500 a year. And I tell you, it was tough. But you didn't buy everything. You conserved. You sit down and said, "What will I do? What will I buy? What will I do?" You know, we was up to Walmart here. My wife gets mad at me at times. We get up there, this woman get out, and she dropped her purse. And all this change was on the ground there. She looked at me, and I looked at the change, and she left. I got down on my hands and knees and I picked it up. I ain't ashamed to tell you. I counted 85 cents. My wife said, "Where'd that woman go?" I said, "I'll follow her all day long." too lazy to pick up a penny. Take a penny every day. And you'll get it. You know the trouble with the American people today? You want everything I got. It took me 92 years to get. You have to learn to crawl before you walk.
Can you run for president, please? Can you see why I just love working with these veterans? And I know if you come to a Veterans Breakfast Club event, you'll absolutely just love it also. If you want to check out our schedule, our website is vbcpgh.org, or you can pick up, we have a few hundred newsletters here up front. Pick one up on your way out. We'd love to have you come. I want to thank our wonderful veterans, Henry Parham, Joseph Glad, Joseph Dickey, Todd Prestia, Howard Piper, and I want to thank Chad Hunter and the Canadian Science Center for hosting this event, and all of you for coming out today. Thank you very much.